Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Welcome to Street MBA, where we discuss entrepreneurship from a evidence-based and practical perspective. Our objective being to create a network of business people who bring value to their communities. I'm Jonathan, the man in front of the camera. Today's episode is going to be, what's in a name? What exactly do you plan on naming your business? That's where the business really starts. That's the first impression, and we know how important first impressions are. So we're going to ask today, what's in your name? Why are you choosing that particular name? Is that name even available for use? Because you know some names have been trademarked. And what you need to do to legitimize your business and connect your name to your idea. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about how you develop your name and how you choose your name. Then we're going to talk to someone who's actually doing business. That's what this show is all about. What's going on actually on the street? How do you go about doing business on a daily basis? We're going to talk to somebody, a very dynamic lady who I know very well, about what she did in her own business to begin to develop and be the entrepreneur that she is today. So stay with us. In just a few moments, we're going to dive in deep. Street MBA.
If you are looking for someone who can provide stunning photography and videos and knows exactly what it takes to get your listing sold or boost your personal brand, Matt Pierce Photography is your solution. My focus is on helping you make the very best first impression that you possibly can. We help you use images and videos effectively in your brand and marketing design to tell your story. Give your corporate image the presence it deserves. Your headshot and your branding is your first impression with clients and business partners. What message are you sending? At Matt Pierce Photography, we believe that pictures and video make information easy to remember, so it makes your message stick. With clean, sleek, simple, and powerful, well-edited images and videos will make you stand out from the crowd. Get your products or listings sold quicker and establishing you as an expert, attracting new clientele. We also offer an array of other products and services such as video walkthroughs, property and agent commercial videos, and a full-service video production house to help bring your story to life. See, when you grow, we grow. So let's grow together. Matt Pierce Photography is your solution for your real estate, corporate, branding, or marketing photography and video needs. Take a decisive step on growing your image and telling your brand story. Call me today for a free consultation.
Welcome back to Street MBAs. Let's talk business and get right into it, okay? So let me ask you a question. Why are you even getting into business? Have you even thought about that? What you're getting into business for? Is it just to make a little bit of money? Are you just trying to add a couple of $100 to the bottom line because you need to pay for a band trip, or your kid just started AAU sports and you need to be able to travel with them to play at the basketball game or to watch the basketball games with them and support your child? Why exactly are you motivated to get some more money? Because we're going to assume that you're already making some type of income. That's really a prerequisite if you're going to be in business, is that you already have a financial foundation to begin to walk upon, because if you don't have that foundation, then your business is probably going to fail because you don't have cash flow. We're going to get into that a little bit more in some later episodes. But let's talk today, first of all, what's your motivation? Why you want to step out and get into business in the first place? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because again, like I said, if you just need a couple of $100, then I need a couple of people in my office right now as administrative assistants. You can come and work for me part-time, and at the same time, you can learn something about the insurance business and investing and marketing and things of that nature just by being in the room. Yes, some things you can get from in business just from osmosis, just from being around. Isn't that what internships are all about? Exactly. So I'm asking you now, are you looking to create a company or just a little side hustle. Because if all we're talking about is just a little side hustle, then we don't have to go into a whole lot of thought on how to go about that and what you need to do to establish it. But if you want to start a company, you want to do something, not just a lemonade stand, but you want to create a lemonade brand, that's something totally different. See, because a lemonade stand can evolve into a lemonade brand. You may just have some lemonade that's so great that people love it so much that they're willing to invest in you and create a lemonade brand just based off your lemonade recipe. It happens to people every single day. But listen, those are exceptions to the rule. Most businesses are established that are well thought out, well planned, and well executed. That's important right there. So let's talk about well thought out. What exactly you want your name to be. So are you creating this because you have a need to meet, or are you creating this because you have an idea that you want to birth? Have you thought about something? Have you solved a problem that no one has solved before? Are you thinking about solutions is what I'm getting at? Or is the solution simply to put some money in your pocket? Listen, being motivated by money, being motivated by that pit in your stomach, that pain in your stomach because you're hungry, literally need to get some food, there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, that's one of the most base motivations out there if you begin to look at the hierarchy of human needs. But what we're talking about is moving beyond just that hunger into executing a strategy to have a successful business. Listen, we're not just trying to create a job for ourselves. We're trying to create jobs not just for us, but for those in our family and by extension for our entire community. We want to really impact people's lives with the gifts and talents that we have within us. Do we not? Isn't that what makes life worth living? That you be able to contribute to somebody else's life something that is of value? I think most people would agree. I think most people in this audience would agree. They want to do positive things and bring positive things to the world. So I'm asking you again, do you want a lemonade brand or do you want a lemonade stand? I'm sure most of you are willing to have those humble beginnings and have that lemonade stand, but let's move on to where we can have that lemonade stand evolve into a true lemonade brand. So take a serious approach to what you're trying to do. And listen, you need to ask yourself some very simple questions. Does what you want to do even make sense? No, really. Are you doing just, because we can stick with the same analogy in regards to lemonade. Are you simply doing sugar water and lemons? Like they say at Chick-fil-A? That's the entire recipe. If that's all that you're doing, and it's just some lemonade, and just the folks in your particular household think your lemonade is great, and nobody else outside of your household is saying that your lemonade is great, you may need to rethink your idea. Is it really worth the effort? And once you finally get your idea together, let me ask you then, what are you going to call that thing? You just going to call it lemonade? Is that all you planned on calling it? Was Jonathan's Lemonade? If people don't know who Jonathan is, then what real value, how is that even going to capture them to be interested when they see your lemonade on the shelf? Yeah, we're talking about big things. We're talking about creating companies. We're talking about creating brands that can feed your family for generations. So you need to really be thinking about what's in that name, because even if you change the name eventually, your business is still going to be referenced to the original name. It's going to be called formerly known as every single time, because, and until of course you build up that new brand awareness around your new name. But until then, because I can think of several examples just in the very recent past. Everybody heard about Angie's List. It was basically a database of reputable contractors that you could use for your home. Well, it's not called Angie's List anymore. It's just called Angie. And anytime I see Angie, I still think Angie's List, but I can understand from a marketing perspective why I wouldn't want to be called Angie's List anymore, because that sounds like something I need to do myself. That sounds like a little bit like work. So the way our society is changing, you see, they had to change their branding a bit, so it's not a to-do list necessarily anymore. It's just a reference place for you to be able to get some good information, some reputable contractors still. So it's not Angie's List, it's just Angie now, somebody you can confide in. Lumber Liquidators isn't Lumber Liquidators anymore. Now they're called LL Flooring. I don't know if you even caught that. It's a subtle switch. It's a name change, but we knew them for very many years as Lumber Liquidators. Well, what does that sound? That sounds like low prices. That sounds like when you think low prices, you also don't think as higher quality. Huh? Mm-hmm. Did I say something wrong? No, but now they're LL Flooring. So what does that mean? They can offer higher level products along with the liquidation prices and liquidation products as well, but people understand that just because you come, now that you come into LL Flooring, that there's a variety, and it's not just about getting the cheapest product or the cheapest price for that particular product. It's also about quality. It's about flooring in general. It's not just wood or lumber anymore. So again, what I say to you is it's important that you really consider what your name is. Because even though if you're going to have a real company, you're going to always be innovating. You're going to always be making changes. You're always going to be improving if you truly want to be a successful business and an entrepreneur. So we talk about what the name is. We talk about it even being something that sounds good. But we also need to discuss, is it searchable? Because the internet is most important in our day and age right now in reference to our business and how we market our businesses. So is it searchable? Is that name even available as a domain name? We're going to get into those things a bit more and how to actually do those things and structure our companies as we continue. But when we come back, we're going to have a great lady here. Her entrepreneur has inspired me my entire life, Ms. Deborah Crumpley. She has an insurance agency. I want you to hear all about it and be inspired by what she's doing. Come back with us, Street Talk, Street MBA.
How's your financial situation, friends? It's time to open that lower drawer and pull it all out. Hi, I'm Margie Duncan with the Arias Group. Have you considered hiring a financial coach? Are you currently thinking about buying a house? If so, now you have a mortgage to consider. Might include cleaning up your credit, securing financing, or home, life, and auto insurance. Regarding your personal finances, how well are you managing your money? Are you planning for retirement? Are you even on track? Here at the Arias Group, we coach you through all of the above, as well as get to know your individual goals and priorities. Give us a call at 713-545-6830. Again, the Arias Group Financial Coaches. Give us a call today and receive a free financial coaching session and game plan.
Administrar su propiedad toma tiempo de su vida diaria. Muchos propietarios de viviendas e inversionistas confían en la experiencia y confianza de Elda Management Services para la completa administración de sus propiedades. Elda Management Services se encarga de manera completa de todo lo relacionado con la administración de su propiedad, no importa si usted está en los Estados Unidos o en el extranjero. monitoreamos el estado de su propiedad de alquiler y nos encargamos de cualquier solicitud de mantenimiento que pueda tener. Nos fijamos en los cobros de renta, hasta servicios de control y mantenimiento para los inquilinos. En LDAP Management Services nos encargamos en todo esto sin que usted se preocupe. Muchas personas en todo el mundo que buscan invertir en bienes raíces en Houston y los alrededores nos contactan porque somos confiables y ofrecemos el más alto nivel de servicios para su propiedad. Y si está pensando en comprar, vender o arrendar una propiedad, LDAP Management Services puede ayudarle a encontrar su próxima gran inversión en Houston y los alrededores, y todo a través de propiedades dentro y fuera del MLS. LDAP Management Services ha obtenido el premio a la excelencia por BBB 6 años consecutivos, incluyendo 2 premios Pinnacle, que es el premio más alto dado. Además, hemos formado parte de NARPM durante más de 12 años, incluyendo la presidencia de nuestro capítulo de Houston en 2018. Llame a LDAP Management Services hoy al 281-894-8659 y deje que gestionemos su propiedad con los más altos estándares.
Did you know your clients will decide to do business with you and your company within 15 seconds of browsing your website, your social media, and your digital footprint? In addition, your company's reviews will play a major role in client retention and future referrals. Hi, I'm Mike Moran with Digital Dimensions, a WSI agency. We use the latest digital marketing expertise, technology, tools to meet all your company's online marketing challenges. Digital Dimensions is your one-stop solution for social media and content marketing to website rankings and everything in between. Additionally, we have the know-how, knowledge of current trends, and effective SEO technologies, as well as cutting-edge tools to bring leads fast and effectively. Most importantly, we deliver innovative digital marketing strategies customized to your company's exact needs. Take a decisive step. Combine our powerful tools with your company's products and services and increase your revenue now.
¿Sabía usted que la causa más común de bancarrota en pacientes hispanos en los Estados Unidos son los cargos de hospitales durante una emergencia? Con Insurance Solution Agency, nuestra misión es ayudar a los individuos o propietarios de pequeñas empresas y familias a conseguir el seguro de salud adecuado para ahorrar dinero y sobre todo proteger lo que más importa. Es imprescindible que su seguro de salud cuente con una cobertura médica correcta para las necesidades presentes y futuras de usted y su familia.
En Insurance Solution Agency simplificamos el proceso de adquisición de seguro médico y nos aseguramos que tengas todas las respuestas a sus preguntas sobre políticas, coberturas y precios. El mejor paciente es el paciente bien informado. Además, ofrecemos soluciones, no importa su estatus migratorio o condiciones preexistentes. Llámenos hoy para una consulta gratuita y tome un paso decisivo para asegurar su salud y la de sus seres queridos.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Welcome back to Street MBA, where we're getting into that street talk. It is time to talk to our illustrious guest, Miss Deborah Crumbley of the GGC Group. She has been in business for how many years is it now? It has been since 2006, so we're talking 16 years in the insurance business, knocking it out the park for over a decade now, and she has some information for us. I'd like to welcome her to our show, Street MBA. Welcome, Ms. Deborah.
Welcome. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the first question I have for you, let's dive right in. Why exactly did you choose health insurance as the particular type of insurance that you wanted to market out there?
Well, it started with me being diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
So I was working for Texas Children's Hospital. I was laid off from my job because I was not able to go back to work in a timely manner.
So what were you doing at Texas Children's Hospital?
I was an office administrator.
Okay. Okay. So you didn't start off in the big wigs or in the big leagues or anything. You
Not
started
at
off
all.
as an administrator. Now,
Exactly.
I just said to my audience just a moment ago that you might just need to come work part-time for me as an office administrator. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like an internship.
That is correct. And that's exactly what I considered it to be, was an internship, because I learned so much about how insurance is billed, what doctors look for, and all of that, and had no idea that that good information would transition over to my new career.
Okay. So health insurance again, why you said you mentioned breast cancer and everything. How did that roll into health insurance?
Well, as an employee of Texas Children, of course, I had long-term, short-term, all my benefits and everything,
Right.
but I really didn't understand how it worked. So I went to the doctor for a well woman's exam, did my mammogram, and that's where they found the lump.
Okay.
So once they found the lump, they did the biopsy, and it was determined that, yes, it was cancerous. So I went through 7 months of chemo and 33 weeks of radiation.
Oh, wow.
So I was out from work. I took an administrative leave from work. I took sick leave, short-term, long-term, long-term.
Exhausted your benefits.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And not knowing, not being really informed or paying attention to my benefits, I had no idea that long-term care benefits only pay 60% of your income.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, you know, we live off of 100% of our income.
Absolutely.
So every month, I was $40 short on that 100% every month.
$40 or 40% short?
40% short. I call it $40 so that you can understand
Yeah.
the dynamics of the loss.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, once I was terminated,
Okay.
I no longer had those benefits, so therefore I
So
needed
you went from 40% to 0%.
to 0%. That
How
is
about it?
correct. That is correct. So I had to have COBRA because once again, I'm still under the doctor's care and I needed quality care. So I went to my doctor to find out what would it cost me and what was COBRA, and I was in the high-risk pool at that time, and I couldn't afford the insurance. So I went on the internet looking for affordable health care for individuals with pre-existing conditions.
Okay. Okay. I imagine that was expensive.
It was very, very expensive. But that was my mission, was to find health care for individuals with pre-existing conditions. So when I logged into...
So you're talking about getting into sales now because you're talking about helping other people get health insurance and everything. So did you have any previous sales experience, anything like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, what kind of sales experience did you have?
I worked for the Xerox Corporation.
Oh, wow. Now this
So-
was before the whole Texas Children's and all that type of stuff?
Absolutely, yes. I worked
Xerox
for...
was a big deal. It
big
still is
deal.
in the industry. So
Yes, they
tell me
are...
about that.
Xerox is the benchmark in selling and training individuals on how to sell.
Oh, see, you didn't tell us that part. You told us
Yes.
about you being a secretary and all this
Oh,
stuff.
yes, a
and you got
secretary.
sales training. You about to go out here and sell this health insurance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not only did I have sales training, I was also a school teacher.
See, so now you're accustomed to telling people stuff, creating curriculums and all that good stuff. Tell me how you brought all those different elements of your previous experience into your current business right now.
Well, because I had those skills,
Okay.
it was all about giving people good information and being able to give them that information and they understand it and be able to move forward with it. So with the skills that I had from teaching school, helping Johnny who can't read understand the curriculum, for the skills of making sure I sold benefits and not features that I learned from the Xerox Corporation.
So you get into the weeds already. That's some real sales talk that you're talking right there.
So now I understand and I'm able to transmit to individual how things work.
So let me ask you this, because this is what our audience really wants to know. So we already know that you're bringing different skills together from different in times of employment into your entrepreneurship. Let me ask you this. What's one of the toughest times that you've had in business, and what did you learn from it?
The toughest time I learned from business, which made me go to Texas Children for the first place to become an administrator. And so let me just add on to that. When I went to work for Texas Children, the administrator or the boss in charge knew that I was overqualified for the job.
Okay.
But I was an entrepreneur. I had an antique store, and I needed money to take care of my basic living.
Okay, so you said something very important, because one of the principles of this show is letting people know how you go about doing business and how best to structure your business so you can take care of yourself now and be able to expand and create a company that's sustainable beyond even yourself and your own generation, so it can extend into generations in your family.
Absolutely.
So exactly, how did you begin to move into that direction opposed to just having something as a side job?
Well, I understood that in order to be successful in the business and to keep the business at a point where it was productive, I needed to make sure the household was handled.
Okay.
So I took that job and I hired someone to come in and work part-time during the day, and I was there on the weekend.
Okay.
So the store was open all the time, and I was there on the weekend, so I was able to make it a profitable venture. So what I learned from that is that no matter what you may want to do for your own business and being your own boss and doing all of that, you have to have a plan. You have to make sure that the basic living is handled, because that once the basic living, you don't have to worry about the light bill, water bill, and eating, then you can focus on building the business.
There you go. So let me ask you this now. Our episode today is called What's in a Name? Why did you choose GGC Group? Where did that come from? What does that mean?
Well, everything that I've ever done in my life has always been about my family.
How about it?
Always about my family, because it is my family that is the core for everything that I do. So GGC is a family name. It is Grimes, Gaiman, Crumbly.
Okay.
Every one of my family members contributed to my thought process and my building as to where I am today. Everyone in my family.
Wow.
So I wanted to create a legacy for all of my family members, no matter where they fall into the Grimes, Gaiman, or Crumbly aspect, that they always had a business.
So let me ask you one more question about your business in reference to just your business life. Now that you've been in business for years and years now, we don't even want to put a number on it, but it's been decades. Because obviously you said you had other sales jobs in reference to Xerox, you've had an antique store. I'm personally aware, because I am your son, that you've had other businesses as well. What we'd like to know is how exactly did you, something that you wish you knew prior to getting into business about business that you would like to have applied even back then when you first started?
I really wish I had known that little thing about making sure that the homestead is covered.
That's street talk right there. Come on.
That I had the water bill, light bill, and phone bill covered. I wish I had known that. Because now that I have that knowledge, when Texas Children offered me another job, then I should have taken that job.
Okay.
Because I was sick. I needed the benefits.
Right, right.
So hindsight, that's what I've learned. That it's always better to if you're going into business, to make sure that all those things are done.
Because I've heard a wise person say what you need to do is stay in your full-time job until your side hustle is earning more money than your full-time job is. So until then, keep on working that full-time job, paying the light bill, paying the rent, paying the water, paying the phone bill, the internet, and all those things, even supporting your own business, because most likely you're going to be working from home at first. So that way, you don't have to have those worries, and you can move on and apply all your energies towards your business. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so glad you came to be my first guest on the show, Mama. When we come back, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, get into some real street talk here on Street MBA about how you structure, find the name for your business, see if it's available, and how to reserve it as well. Be talking to you soon. Stay with us, the Street MBA.
Thank you.
Change the future and you're driven. Change the way, your passion and your spirit. You gotta change the world with one word, with the power of your soul. Because the magic is in you. You have the chance to change the world.
Welcome back to Street MBA. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview as much as I did. It was actually exhilarating for me to hear all that good information from my mother about how the business started and what her motivations are. Your why is so important. I don't even need to tell you about that. I'm sure you've already heard the TED Talk. We'll let them do that. Look for them on YouTube. But look, something I want to talk about a little bit more is, in reference to your name, is does your name even sound good? Like when you say it, does it roll off your lips? Does Jay's Lemonade Stand? That sounds pretty good right there, right? Mm-hmm. You would think it sounds good, but you know what even sounds even better? Watch how innovative this particular name is. There's a new urgent care center around my home that's called Urgent Care Near Me. Did you get that? The name of the urgent care center is Urgent Care Near Me. Now, what do you normally put into Google when you're not feeling well, you're looking for urgent care? What do you put in there? You put Urgent Care Near Me. So what's going to pop up first? Most likely, in an organic search, you're going to get Urgent Care Near Me somewhere high in those results, because there are people paying for first place. Now, we're going to look at that in a second, but not right now. We're going to look at that in a second about how SEO, as they call it, search engine optimization, works. We're going to have a whole show. I got an expert that I got up my sleeve right now that I'm thinking about right now that's going to show us some stuff about social media marketing that's going to bring some real value to our lives, so we'll be able to bring some real value to our community. So Urgent Care Near Me is a great name, right? Because you know exactly what that business is based on the name, and it's also very searchable in Google. So now think about this one. I got another place that I used to work for actually myself, and it was actually, the name was made or decided upon prior to the internet. So prior to 1994, there was already a company called Tent Rental of Philadelphia. That's pretty easy too. That's self-explanatory too, is it not? Tent Rental of Philadelphia. They rent tents in Philadelphia. So what did that do? When anybody put into Google tent rental near me, what you think popped up? At least in the Philadelphia area. Tent Rental of Philadelphia, exactly. Exactly. So that's the importance of thinking about what you want your name to be. What product you're offering, what service you're offering, so when people begin to look for it, because listen, if people don't find you, you can be in business all by yourself with all that inventory, with all that not earning money, sitting at home, not making any sales, not earning anything, so then your side hustle is going to the pot. And you're thinking about some new decisions. But if you had thought about it, what's in the name, then maybe you'd be more successful, because what's one thing that's going to be essential is that you do great marketing. Marketing is absolutely essential. I hear people say it all the time that they don't think that they're salesmen, but listen, if you're going to be in business, you're going to be an entrepreneur, then you need to develop sales skills. We're going to talk about that too in the Street MBA, because that's what's essential to being a successful entrepreneur, is having some sales skills. You got to be able to sell yourself if you don't sell nothing else. You got to be able to sell yourself, because listen, people don't buy products, people buy you. I'm going to say that to you again. People don't buy products, they buy you. So now, I really want to dive into it a little bit more, and listen, we talk about this being a practical, evidence-based show discussing entrepreneurship. So we're actually going to look at on the internet, just as an example, just do an exercise so you can begin to do it yourself, different ideas that you may have, to see if your name is even available to be used. Because if you try to use somebody else's name, especially on the World Wide Web, to market a product, and it's already being used, that person's coming after you. I said that person's coming after you. We're going to talk about liability in your business and how that can affect your personal finances when we dive a little deep in the next couple of segments here. But let's look right now. Let's go ahead and pull up our browser and figure out if Jay's Lemonade Stand is even available for use, huh? So let's take a look at it now. Let's get on this computer here and figure out if we can even do Jay's Lemonade Stand. Let's see if anybody out there has Jay's Lemonade Stand. I saw Jay's Lemonade pop up while I was still typing. Did you catch that? That's Lemonade Stand. I spelled it wrong, but Google still understood. But let's still look. So we got a Jay's Lemonade Stand on Instagram. We got a Jay's Lemonade Stand on Facebook as well. Jay's Fresh Pressed Lemonade. Huh? That's something that's off the top of my head right there. I thought I was doing something talking about a lemonade stand, but we see Jay is already in business. He's already on Facebook with the lemonade stand. He's on a lineable out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at this. We got images of Jay's fresh pressed lemonade. You see that there? It's all there. So that's important. That's step number one. Is the name even available? Huh? You think you came up with the greatest name? You thought of some great artistry, right? And guess what? It's already gone. So you back to the drawing board. Listen, that's not a negative thing, because guess what? People come up with great names for businesses every single day. How about this one? How about this one? Street MBA. Huh? Street MBA. I can show you that Street MBA is being used in some forms, but not exactly how we're using it. So that's why I still went with it. Everything that I'm doing right now, I told you this is evidence-based and practical. Every principle that I'm espousing on this particular television show, I'm using myself. I've done it myself. I'm giving you what I've learned in my own journey. I'm giving you what other entrepreneurs have learned in their own journey. Everything, it may be anecdotal, but if you just execute it according to the blueprint, trust that you get some of the same results. Okay? Okay, so let's look a little bit further about the names, because it's not just if it's anybody has anything like that particular idea. We want to actually do a domain name search. Okay? Real easy for me is GoDaddy, because I've used GoDaddy in my business as well. That's my go-to, because I have familiarity with GoDaddy. Something it's a real quick thing I want you to make sure you pay attention to, especially when you're doing stuff like this, is that you look at the URLs that you're about to click on. Because the things in regards to business, there are lots of companies out there that want to help businesses to register and to legitimize themselves, right? So they're going to pop up in the results. But you have to be careful that you don't just click on a business opposed to going to pursue the information that you're trying to obtain. Okay? So look, so let's see Jay's Lemonade.com. Is that open? Is that available? Let's check on Jay's Lemonade to see. Look at here. So jayslemonade.com is already taken. You see, but they gave us an alternative, jlemonade.com. Did you see there? jayslemonade.net for $15. jayslemonade.org. That's the nonprofit extension of Jay's Lemonade. Did you catch that? Because we can help you get the 501c3 also. That's important. That's another component. We'll be talking about nonprofits in the episode upcoming soon. But stay tuned with us, stay with us. Follow us on YouTube, follow us here on Now Media Television. You can get the shows on demand on Now Media Television website, as well as we're creating a YouTube channel where you can look at the back shows, the shows that we've done previously also. So, we know already that Jay's Lemonade is already taken, baby. Jay's Lemonade, we thought it was a great idea. We're going to turn this lemonade stand into a lemonade brand, but we got to slow down and figure out what else we might be able to call our lemonade stand. Huh? Our lemonade company, our lemonade, eventually, empire. Huh? Did you think that Country Delight? Are you a Country Delight fan? Listen, the first official job that I had was at a barbecue restaurant. I was 15 years old, working at Teague's Barbecue, and people loved our lemonade. People loved our sweet tea. But listen, because Teague's Barbecue is no longer in business, I don't think I have a disclosure. They don't have a disclosure on me preventing me from speaking, since the business is no longer in existence, that we used to use Country Time and Lipton tea out that big can from Sam's just poured it into a cooler, filled it up with water, stirred it up with our big spoon, and guess what? That's what you had from Teague's Barbecue. And folks swear we was serving them some sun tea. That we had them jugs of tea sitting outside in the back. Huh? That's how we used to do it back in the day. They swear we used to have the lemonade as well. So one of the first things we need to do is check to see if the name is available. Is anybody using it on the internet or social media? Then we also looked at, is anybody using it as a domain name already for their website? So when we come back, we're going to dive in a bit into corporate structure and how you get your EIN. You're watching The Street MBA.
Did you know your clients will decide to do business with you and your company within 15 seconds of browsing your website, your social media, and your digital footprint? In addition, your company's reviews will play a major role in client retention and future referrals. Hi, I'm Mike Moran with Digital Dimensions, a WSI agency. We use the latest digital marketing expertise, technology, tools to meet all your company's online marketing challenges. Digital Dimensions is your one-stop solution for social media and content marketing to website rankings and everything in between. Additionally, we have the know-how, knowledge of current trends, and effective SEO technologies, as well as cutting-edge tools to bring leads fast and effectively. Most importantly, we deliver innovative digital marketing strategies customized to your company's exact needs. Take a decisive step. Combine our powerful tools with your company's products and services and increase your revenue now.
Welcome back to the Street MBA. Let's get some more of this street talk in. We don't have no time to waste. Now, let's talk about business structure. How exactly are you going to present yourself to the world? Have you ever heard of a fictitious person? I said, have you ever heard of a fictitious person? That's what a corporation is. It's actually the individual corporation existing in the world as a human being or a person. That's what you do when you create a corporation through the Secretary of State in your particular area, according to the laws in your particular area. I'm stumbling a bit because I'm also thinking about our viewers in Mexico. So we want to make sure that we also translate what the particular structures and the processes are in Mexico as well as we do in the United States. We want to be cognizant of what's going on everywhere in the world so we can be bringing some relevant information to everybody. Now, having said that, how do you structure your business? If all you do is open up that lemonade stand and slap a sign on the front of it that says Jay's Lemonade, then what you got right there is a sole proprietorship or possibly a partnership if you have someone else that may have invested or may be squeezing lemons for you. Huh? If you got somebody standing next to your side, that's your partner right there. But here's the thing. The same way all the money gets split, however y'all choose, whatever percentage is, if it's 50-50, if it's 60-40, if it's 70-30, whatever you choose, how you distribute the funds or the profits of that particular business, guess what? You're also distributing your liability as well. With a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you don't have any ceiling for your liability. If somebody trips over that water hose you use to fill up that pitcher, or if they trip over that cooler that you have there with your ice and your juice in there, if they trip over that and they fall right there in front of your table in your yard, because you're a sole proprietorship or a partnership, then guess what? Not only are you getting all the money for the lemonade, you're also getting all the liability in that lawsuit. Make you rethink getting into business now. Because that can add up, especially if you have a lawsuit-happy person that you're dealing with. So how do you protect yourself in that particular situation? What you do is you create a company. That's why you hear so many people suggesting that people get a limited liability company or an LLC. That's what people will tell you to do. What does that do? That protects you from liability. So you're only going to be liable for the amount of money that you've invested in that LLC, opposed to your house, your car, everything else that's in your personal name. Right? So we don't want to be a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you want to level up and at least be an LLC. That's a pass-through or organization entity for tax purposes, IRS purposes. What does pass-through mean? That means that all the profits from the revenue that's created with that particular LLC is then put on the personal tax return of the owner or owners. Now, that same principle applies with an S corporation as well. It's also a pass-through entity, but the difference from an LLC to an S corp is that with an S corporation, you can actually distribute stock. Excuse me. So you can have stockholders in an S corporation, not with an LLC. You only have owners in a limited liability company. Now, the last corporate structure that you can possibly consider is a corporation. The difference with a corporation is that the profits and the revenues of the corporation has its own tax return that's taxed. And then whatever money that are paid to the owner off of that profit from that from the corporation, then the owner is taxed for that profit as well. So that's double taxation. Nevertheless, that's what happens when you have a corporation. Of course, you have the benefit of being able to go public with a corporation and be able to have an initial public offering and things of that nature. We're getting a little bit too far into the weeds in regards to that, but what I want you to really consider is you don't want to be just a DBA doing business as if you don't have some type of corporate structure. Okay? But one of the first things you need to do in reference to your business is get your employer identification number. I'm sure you've heard that acronym before. Get your EIN. That's a really simple process, but it's very important because what is an employer identification number? An employer identification number is synonymous with or analogous to the Social Security number for your personal affairs. Let's go ahead and sink in for a minute. I want you to think about what I'm saying to you. The EIN is like the Social Security number for your business. What do you use your Social Security number to deal with the IRS? If you're dealing with banks, if you're dealing with creditors and anybody else that reports to government entities. That's what you use your EIN for, right? So real quick, let's go to the internet real quick. I want to show you something real fast so you can figure out how you get your EIN, and then we're going to wrap the show up. So let me show you real fast what it looks like to get your EIN. So what I'm going to just put into my search bar is EIN, right? So here we are. The first thing that pops up is a company that helps with EINs. I told you, look at that URL, the website address, when you're doing these things, because that's not the irs.gov that you're looking for. They actually have irs.gov in their name here, but they're not the IRS either. So look closely, because these are dashes here. This is www.irs-gov. That's not irs.gov. So now we're here at irs.gov. I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to be able to do some things in your business yourself. We consult for businesses at GGC Group. We help businesses to legitimize themselves by registering with the state of Texas and everything. But one thing I encourage businesses to do is to do some things for yourself and know how to do it yourself. So now all you have to do is click here, apply online now, and then you go through the application. Yes, read the page for the sake of your business, because this is part of developing your entrepreneurial muscles, so to speak, is doing things for yourself for your business, because you need to know your business better than anybody knows your business. You want to put smart people around you, but you want to be able to know your business. So let's wrap this thing up real quick. What's in a name? You need to know that it sounds good, that it communicates what the business is, and also it needs to be able to be searchable and available for your use. We had a wonderful interview with my mother who told us about entrepreneurship and how she got into the business and what the GGC Group means and what we stand for. Listen, I want you to be able to do the same and have the same passion about your dreams and your ideas. Learn more, stay with us. Street MBA, we'll be talking about all those evidence-based and practical things. Thank you for watching.
This has been a Now Media television feature presentation. All rights reserved.